Welcome to TSL Talk for round 3. Today we're joined by Clarence Premiership coach Brett Gape. And Brett, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You're reigning premiers. You've won the first two very comfortably. You're obviously the team to beat and the team that everyone's already picking as a premiership favourites again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming off a premiership, I suppose most people, you certainly become the hunted again, and it's obviously been two good wins to start off with, so we couldn't be happier how we're travelling, but we certainly know it's a long season, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon and a long way to go.
You lost some crucial players at the end of last season, Brad Dutton and Ben Setchell to retirement, and our Daniel Archer and Jeremy Webberley to the AFL, but it looks like you haven't missed a beat.
No, look, I honestly believe, and it's no disrespect to the players who've lost, and I reckon the players that lost, as I said, were really hard to replace, but I reckon our list is stronger than last year, and I'm pretty confident about that, and so far so good.
So you think you've got a better team this year than the one that won the flag last year?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the other factor too, we had 4 17-year-olds playing in that grand final, so they're obviously a year older, and I mean, Sav sort of replaces Dutz, and I suppose Daniel Archer to a certain degree, and I think Stewie Whitelaw, I mean, even though Jez is obviously an outstanding footballer and was probably the form player of the year last year, I think Stuart Whitelaw's holding down his position really well, and Trent Stanton is probably something we didn't have last year, and I think Matthew replaces Ben Setchell quite handily.
What about Josh Green? He was one of those 17-year-olds you mentioned last year. He's already being talked about as an AFL draftee at the end of this season.
Yeah, definitely. And look, that's going to be the biggest challenge for Josh. Josh had an amazing season last year, and I suppose the problem you find with those kids in their final year of Mariners program after their championships, they tend to drop off due to, I suppose, AFL clubs talking to them and the pressures of getting drafted. So that's going to be Josh's challenge in the back half of the year.
We've seen this year already. You kicked 3 goals against Glenorchy and kicked 8 last week against South Lonnie. Playing out roles of deep forward, is that a permanent role for you?
Look, that's the way we train sort of pre-season. So, look, I'll certainly swing myself in some other positions at times. The key with our side this year, I suppose, we relied on Dutz so much last year, and this year we don't. I mean, we proved that Glenorchy only kicked 3, and we sort of shared the load around. So we're certainly not relying on me to kick a bag each week. We've got a number of blokes that can pop up and kick a few.
I think Dutz said on radio he tipped you to win the Hudson Medal this year as the leading goal kicker. He might be onto something.
No, I don't know. I think he's just taken the Mickey out of me there. So no, I'm not sure what he's talking about there.
We've seen this week Launceston's captain Scott Stevens has come out and said he's received a broken jaw from an off-the-ball incident that saw North Lonnie's Adam Viney suspended. He's going to be taking that further and looking at his legal options. What's your take on that, and do you think the old saying of what happens on the field stays on the field is now a thing of the past?
Yes and no. I mean, it's one of those things until you know the ins and outs of it, and I don't, so it's hard to comment exactly on the actual incident itself. I think if it's bad enough, I think certainly you should take it to the police. But I suppose sometimes there are certain things I think should just stay on the field and be handled through the tribunal system. But as I said, I haven't seen the incident or know too much about it to make comment on it.
Hobart this weekend up at the TCA, they're a team that you've really dominated in recent years. You must go up there very confident. Yeah,
look, we do. As I said, 2 good wins, but obviously up there, we didn't play there at all last year because the game got played at Snug for their home game last year, and I know myself, I haven't played there in probably 6 or 7 years, so it's going to be new to a lot of guys who haven't played there for a while. And look, they're pretty hard to beat up there as a general rule, but I'm sure if we get on top of them early, that's the plan. We can control the game.
Like you're saying, it's a unique ground, the size shape. You couldn't find too much different at Belrive.
No, it won't. And look, we've trained differently tonight. We've had to move the cones in and make the dimensions of Belrive shorter, so we get used to playing on that type of ground, and we'll certainly change the way we play.
I'm going to have a look at the rest of the games for round 3. Launceston up against South Lonnie, a team that you beat easily last week at Windsor Park. Both are 1-on-1, so pretty vital game for the winner and the loser. Yeah, definitely.
As I say, 1-on-1. I mean, the northern side this year, it's been really even. It's a bit unsure who's going to win week in and week out, but I think Launceston will take that one.
Glenorchy at home to Lauderdale, and the Magpies will start hot favourites in that one.
They will, and I think they'll win pretty easily in that one.
Devonport against North Hobart, probably North Hobart, one of the real form teams of the competition. They've had 2 big wins, but this is their first trip on the road.
Yeah, definitely. I think the match of the round, it's a bit unsure with that one, but I reckon actually I'm going to tip Devonport in a tight one with that one.
And the final match of the round is North Lonnie and Burnie under lights at Aurora. No doubt Burnie being the surprise packet. They've lost a heap of players, still won their opening 2 games, and North Lonnie had a good win last week against Devonport.
Yeah, Burnie have certainly been the surprise packet. Everyone was talking them down. I think even their coach has probably been talking them down. But talking to Luke Shackleton, they're a bunch of young kids who are really keen and having a go at the moment, which can be pretty healthy in any environment. But I think Northern Bombers at Aurora, they play it pretty well and they've got good smalls, so I think they'll win by 3 or 4 goals.
Brett, well, thanks very much for joining us on TSL Talk. And remember, for all your previews, TSL stories and match reviews, pick up your copy of the Mercury or go to the Mercury online.